Good morning, world. Here it is Monday morning here in Maine, USA, and I'm here with another, what did I call them? Bits of bravery. Today's little bit of bravery, I don't know that it actually meets my standards of bravery, but it definitely was one of those activities when I said, what the heck was I thinking about a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, a gazillion times? And I'm sure there were people who knew me that were secretly whispering or thinking or saying to others, boy, does she have guts. I would never do that. Are you curious? Do you want to know what happened? Want to hear my story? Okay, get ready for this. The year was 1999. I weighed almost 200 pounds. My children were, so let's see, would have been 11 and 9. And I had this brilliant idea, this scathingly brilliant idea to participate in the Trek Across Maine. Now, the Trek Across Maine is a bike ride, a 3-day bike ride that takes place over Father's Day weekend every year. Hey, Mary. And this 3-day bike ride, the first day is usually around 60 or 70 miles, and it gets split up over the 3 days. I was not a cyclist. I had a $99 bicycle that I bought at the equivalent of Walmart. I did change out the seat. I remember doing that. But it was a very cheap bike, but it was going to do the job for me. And so I started training. When the kids were in school, I would go out on these long bike rides, and I was enjoying that feeling of athleticism, of being on the bike for miles and miles. But because of my work schedule and my home responsibilities, I never got the training miles in that I really needed. But I was determined. I was raising money, and I had my plan. The family was going to drive me to Bethel, Maine, which is where the Sunday River Ski Resort is. So this is on the western part of Maine. They drove me up there on a Thursday night. They dropped me off. I got settled. I'm hearing people in the dining hall, or in the restaurant, wherever we were. They're saying the first day, Friday, is the easiest day. And I'm thinking, score, starting off with a 70-mile easy day. Got this. Oh my goodness. I was dying. There was one time specifically, I was going up a hill, and I'm in the granny gear, which is the smallest gear. Your feet are really spinning quickly, and you're just trying to stay moving. And I was this close to just stopping and getting off of my bike. And a man, an older gentleman, wearing an oxygen tank, zoomed past me up that hill. And I'm thinking, what the heck have I done? What was I thinking? Well, I did end up walking up that hill because that just broke my spirit. I had no determination. I was ready just to call what they called the sag wagon or the sack wagon, something like sag wagon, I think, which they had. This trek was very well monitored and maintained. So there were safety vehicles always going by to help riders that were having problems with their bike, that fell ill, that couldn't handle it. And I really, really just wanted to grab a ride to the end of the day, but I didn't. In fact, I was probably about 50 miles into the day's ride. I know, nothing short, just 50 miles into the ride. And I met a woman, and we were both walking up the hill. And she said, let's just get this done together today. And so we did. We walked together when we needed to. We stopped when we needed to. And we just helped each other out. Got to the end of the day. I was in the evenings were spent at college campuses. So we're in the chow hall in the dining room. Oh, there's the military coming out in me. We were in the cafeteria, and I'm hearing people saying, oh my gosh, that was so hard. Fridays have always been the easiest day, and it was so hard. That gave me some comfort. And I found out later that night, as other people were talking about it, because of construction, the route actually had been changed for this year. And so there were a lot more hills. It was harder. I think it was 5 or 6 miles longer than it usually was. Got up, did Saturday. Saturday, I didn't have any problems with it. Sunday was a little bit challenging. There were points where I just really wanted to give up, grab a ride back to the finish line, but I didn't. I stuck with it. And I felt so proud of myself when I crossed the finish line. My husband and the 2 kids were there, and they just celebrated with me. And they had a big meal. It may have been like a lobster dinner, hamburgers, hot dogs, and just festivities to celebrate. I got a medal to put around my neck as I was crossing the finish line. And I was so wobbly and so tired, so exhausted. I had ridden a bike 180 miles in 3 days, weighing almost 200 pounds. And I did it. And the reason I chose to share this story with you today is because there are things that you have imagined. It may just be a whim. I remember this was something I saw a little brochure about it. I picked it up, I looked at it, and I decided in that moment I wanted to do it. And even though I wasn't 100% ready to show up that weekend, I still went. Couple of lessons here. Sometimes showing up is the best thing that you can do, even if you're not fully ready, even if you don't feel fully prepared or committed. Ready and prepared, same thing. Just show up and do the best that you can and get the most that you can out of participating, because that spurs you on to keep doing it and to keep trying it. It's when we're not ready and we feel like we're not capable of doing something and we hold back and we retreat. The next time we have a similar situation, a similar opportunity, we hold back, we retreat. When I went up to Bethel on Thursday evening and I'm hearing all of these riders, I was excited about the possibilities. I didn't know if I could complete this ride. I doubted that I could. I weighed almost 200 pounds. I had a $99 bike from the equivalent of Walmart. I hadn't trained the way that I could have, that I should have, to prepare for this. I still did it. I did it. And that's an amazing accomplishment. Was it an act of bravery? From my perspective, no. It was just something I decided to do. I stayed committed to the idea, and I did it. Other people, they may have looked at me and thought, ooh, that takes guts. Ooh, look at her. Yeah, that's not a pretty sight on a bicycle. Maybe she should have got a seat that was a little bit bigger to hold her big butt. Ooh, from what she's told me, she hasn't been riding that bike as much as she should. Ooh, maybe she shouldn't do this. Maybe she should wait. Maybe she should hold off until next year. I could have held off till the next year. Would I have been any more prepared? Probably not. Because we fall into these patterns of sameness where we're doing the same old, and that's how we have our so-so existences. Nothing changes. We don't dare to be bold. We don't dare to just say, gosh darn it, I may not look like I can do this. You may not think I can do this. I may not think I can do this, but I'm going to give it a try because I think this would be cool. This would be awesome to be able to put in my obituary. I've talked before, well, I don't think I have on these Facebook Lives, but in some of my videos, I talk about your obituary resume. It's very similar to your job resume. You're lining up the things that will impress people and get you the position you want. For your obituary resume, it's not to impress them, but it's just to hopefully inspire people to say, wow, at 200 pounds, she rode 180 miles. That's something that maybe I could do. I'm going to give it a try. So I hope you enjoyed this story of riding a bicycle, a very uncomfortable bicycle, a very inexpensive bicycle. And I share and emphasize the inexpensive part of it is because sometimes we look around and we see, especially bike riding, you can spend thousands of dollars on a bicycle, thousands. A $99 bicycle did the job. You can get by without the best equipment, the best clothing, the best whatever. Find the minimum that you need and you can still be successful. So that's my bravery tip for today. And I look forward to sharing another one with you tomorrow. Have a great day.